Welcome back to N's NotebookLM. So today, we're diving deep into digital privacy, but we're going to do it from a really wild angle. What could we possibly learn about protecting our everyday online lives from someone whose entire job is to make people, well, completely disappear?
This all comes from a book called Extreme Privacy by Michael Bazzell. Now, this guy is a former government agent who now specializes in the ultimate vanishing act. And we're not just talking about clearing your browser history. As he puts it, this is about starting over completely. I mean, these are methods designed for the most serious situations imaginable.
And that's what got me thinking. If these strategies are powerful enough to make a person totally untraceable, what can the rest of us learn from them? What little pieces can we borrow to build a much more secure, private digital life for ourselves? That's what we're going to unpack. So the very first thing, and honestly the most important idea in the whole book, is what Bazzell calls the proactive privacy playbook. And this isn't about some fancy software or a secret trick. It's a total shift in your mindset, about moving from reacting to problems to just preventing them from happening in the first place. Think about it. Most of us are in a constant state of reactive privacy. A data breach hits the news, then we scramble to change our password. We stumble across our home address on some website, then we try to get it taken down. We're always playing catch up. The proactive way just flips the whole script. The goal isn't to clean up the mess. It's to stop anyone from making a mess with your data to begin with. You control it from the very start.
All right, so where does a proactive plan actually begin? Well, according to this playbook, it starts with the physical things you own. Your laptop, your phone. Before you even think about the internet, you have to turn your own devices into a digital fortress. Bazzell calls this process hardening your computer, and it really comes down to three big moves. First, you disable all the native tracking. You know, all those default features that are constantly sending little reports about you back to the mothership without asking. Second, you install an application firewall. Think of this like a bouncer for your data. Every single app has to get your permission before it tries to phone home to some server you've never heard of. And third, you run maintenance scripts. This is like a digital cleaning crew that comes through and scrubs away all the tiny little footprints your computer saves just by being on.
And this gets to the very core of why securing your hardware is so important. Look, the cloud is super convenient. We all use it. But let's be real. As this quote says, it's just you putting your files on someone else's computer. For your most sensitive data, true privacy means keeping it local, on a device that you control, a device that you've turned into a fortress. Okay, so your hardware is now a fortress. What's next? Well, now you have to control the drawbridge. This is all about managing how your information flows out of your devices and onto the wild west of the internet. A key tool here is a VPN, a virtual private network. The simplest way to think about it is as your own private, encrypted tunnel through the internet. It does two huge things for you. First, it hides your real location by masking your IP address. And second, it scrambles your traffic so even your own internet company can't see what you're doing online. But here's another layer that's incredibly powerful: private DNS. Okay, so if the internet is a city, DNS is the phone book your computer uses to find every website's address. Normally, your internet provider gives you that phone book, and you know what? They're watching every single page you look up. A private DNS service is like getting your own secure phone book, but it's even better. It can have all the pages for trackers, ads, and nasty websites just ripped out, so they can't even load in the first place. But even with a locked-down computer and a secure connection, you're not done. The final piece of this puzzle actually jumps out of the purely digital world and into the real one. Because every time you buy a cup of coffee or pay a bill, you create a data point. You're leaving a trail. This last part is all about erasing that digital ghost. The book goes into a ton of ways to pay for things privately. Cash, of course, is still the king of anonymity for anything you buy in person, but for the online world, masked cards are an absolute game changer. These services create a brand new, unique card number for every single purchase, so the company you're buying from never gets your real financial info. And then for the highest level of privacy, virtual currencies can, if you know what you're doing, completely break the link to your real identity. So when you put all these pieces together, from hardening your computer to using private payments, it's all about one thing: taking back control. And it really leaves you with a big question to ask yourself. How much of your life is just an open book for anyone to read? And are you ready to be the one who decides what's written on the next page? If this topic has captured your interest and you'd like to dive deeper, the book is called Extreme Privacy by Michael Bazzell.